Hey, what's up? It's Kit. Time for another video. Today, I want to show you how to make one of these. Alright, so this is basically another way to cast out soft plastics, flies, and this is a variable weight system. So it means that you can, get a heavier rod and reel, or you could use heavier rod and reels to deliver really light lures quite far. Alright, this is mostly something I use when I have a surf rod and I see a boil really far out, and what I do is usually at the very end of the leader I have a snap. So that's my bait rigs and whatnot. I could just clip this on and have a fly with this would have like a long leader, a fly or soft plastics already there, and then I could just cast this out. And since the sinker and the fly, most of the time I have a fly or a soft plastic at the very end of the leader, it doesn't have a lot of drag. So even if, like, take for example, I would have a jig, for shore jigging and all, this actually catches more just for the simple fact that the fly has a smaller profile. And especially in times when they're kind of bait profiling and they're eating small bait fish, this is just killer. Alright, so let's go ahead and show you how this is done. You will need a sinker. This is number 9 wire. A swivel is optional, and the crimp is also optional. So I'm going to actually show you how to build this, or how to make this right here. How to basically do this without the crimp. Alright, not everyone has a fancy crimping tool, and crimps actually kind of damage this. I just wanted to show you guys another option to do this, but yeah, very easy to do. Anyway, let's go ahead and do that. So you need number 9 wire, and the length, it depends. This one, it's about 15, no, actually about 13 inches or so. Alright, so about that long. The length is really dependent on you. By the way, if you're just joining us and you haven't yet, this channel talks about the hows and whys of fishing. We cover everything from big game, ultralight, everything in the middle, including fly fishing. We have a lot of these DIY videos in the channel, so if you're into this sort of thing, and if you haven't yet, subscribe if you want to learn. Alright, so today we're talking about a sort of like a spreader rig that enables you to cast really good distances from shore, even from a boat. Alright, and delivering light lures, different depths. Okay, and we're doing a variable weight system so that you're not building something and you're locked into one particular weight. Alright, so with your wire, you need a round nose pliers. You can either have one of these. This is from AFW, or you could have something like this. Alright, either way, you'll need something with a rounded nose so that you'd be able to make eyes. And this one in particular is something that I've been using for quite a long time. So right here, okay, one is longer, the other is shorter. Alright, so just about there, I would say. Okay, and then we make an eye. Forgive the dogs, they're usually this noisy at around this time of day. Alright, now we are going to just bend it so that it forms that eye right there. Okay, and then I will turn this so that I will have barrel rolls. Okay, about 4 or 5 is enough. There we go. So you have one pointing up, pointing down, and you have one that is straight out. Okay, now it's time to actually center this. You want it centered, so just turn it a little bit here so that it's perfectly centered. Alright, so okay, perfectly centered there. Straighten it. Okay, now this will be at a slight angle. Okay, it helps you kind of straighten everything out. If this is straight, it's not going to be traveling the way you want it, so it has to be at a slight angle. Plus, it gives it a bit of springiness, which I will explain later on. Now, I'm going to take a small Allen key. Okay, this is very crucial. This Allen key has it's not round. Okay, and what we want is to form an eye first, a small eye, okay, which I'm going to use this. Alright, and the eye should be at the same plane as this. Okay, so we will go like that, bend this back a bit. Okay, then that, and that's your eye, you see. Okay, now once that eye is formed, now the size of the Allen key, I usually use about no more than 4 times the diameter of the wire. So just eyeball it. There's really no set rule. If you have something smaller, like take for example this needle right here, or even a hook, go ahead and do that. The smaller the wraps, the better, actually. Okay, so actually, you know what? Let me find something. All right, so this is about double the yeah, double or about 3 times max the size of my wire. I will put this near the L because it will help it from not spinning, and then I will clamp that on like so. Alright, and it helps if you actually just bend this a little bit so that it's parallel to the Allen key, and then I will wrap this around like so. You only need 3-4 turns. So that's the second, that's the third. Okay, once it gets too short, sometimes you need a pair of pliers just to hold it and not hurt yourself, actually. Okay, so I'm just going to be turning that, making sure. Alrighty, there we go. Okay, take this off, then it becomes easy to just pull that off. Done. Alright, now if you're kind of concerned of that, just cut it close. Doesn't really hurt, even if it's facing forward or facing back, doesn't matter. But you don't want it sticking out too far, so cut it short. Okay, it helps if you have a smaller tool to actually reach in there and just cut it. There we go. All right. So that, again, you have to kind of straighten out so that it is. All right. So let's see what we have here. Okay, we have the pigtail. We have that eye open back here. Okay. So the purpose of this is basically that. Okay. And to take it off, you just go out like that. It's quite fast. All right. Let's see if we've done it right. So eye. Okay. Like that. And then just turn. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're gonna put another eye here. Okay, and still the same. Eyes are always in the same plane. We could make this short or long, really depends on you. I like it a bit long because it gives me separation from my leader and my main line when I cast. So quite important. Alright, so we are going to just make this as clean as we can. Okay. Okay. I am going to just make this just gonna clean this up. All right. Okay, so we have that eye, and then we can start our roll. Roll that up. Okay. Cut the tag. And that's it. So that's basically your spreader done. There are some fancy versions of this where you could put spinners here. That way you have either flash or vibration, in addition to the attraction that your lure that's at the end of your leader that you're casting with this puts out. So you have a spinner blade here turning if you want. You know, that way you just cast out and reel it in, and then you know, it provides the vibration. But see, the thing is, when you have this and you're casting this out, it actually sort of has a spring action. Okay, so you have your leader here, and if you tie it here, it's a direct connection. So when you jerk it, this actually kind of moves like that, and then it springs. All right, so it springs up and gives you kind of like a jigging action. So when you pull this, this goes like that, and then it goes like that when you're relaxing, and then it moves your fly with a sort of like a little bit of an erratic action. And that attracts the fish. It's very subtle. When you do that, you know, instead of just going forward, it actually kind of slows down a bit and then accelerates a little bit. That little acceleration and stop, the darting action gets the fish to trigger. I catch too many queen fish with this, and like orange spot trevallies. So I don't really use it that much anymore, but in the earlier days when I enjoyed catching those, this is like devastating. All right, so when you're fishing in shore and you'll see some boilers out in the middle, sometimes even a jig won't be able to reach them because of the drag. But since you can change the sinker on this, and if you're using a long surf rod, you're able to reach them. You know, the sinker weight that you put here, you could even put a jig. Now it really depends on the type of rod that you have, but for this type of thing, you know, I could take a max, let's say a max 80-gram rod, surf rod, and then I could put a maximum 80 grams on this. The fly or the soft plastic that I put in hardly gives drag to this whole thing, so it enables me to cast really far, and this is the merit of this whole thing. All right, so if you've got questions, drop them in the comments below. If you learned something, give it a thumbs up. If you want to learn more and you're not yet a subscriber to the channel, subscribe. All right, if you want your fishing group to learn more, share the video. Okay, that's it. Very simple, very fast. Nothing complicated really, quite simple, and the only complicated thing is just this little pigtail. All right, hopefully this is something that you learn from, and it would be useful for you. All right, so that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Class is missed.